Wonderful people, most welcome to my channel. I'm SharlotChi for the Voice of Evolution. I've been working with light degrees, light technology, and opening all visions within for 20 years now. And so that gave me a lot of inside knowledge and the exactitude of spiritual science versus the science on the earth that is about to collapse anyways as well, with anything that is going on. So we do not want nonsense anymore. We want the truth of seeing crystal clear, right? And so truth belongs to the plateau of purity. And when we are willing to purify to the level where we are in the summit of a huge evolution starting out right now, and as we can see, we can align to the sixth sense beyond all the old civilizations. And opening up that sixth sense brings a lot of insight, brings a lot of clarity, brings a lot of new knowledge. So that is one degree that pertains to all civilization that have known that the light of a light body, essentially light, pure light, transparency, uh, that is connected to the eye of the divine, and that shows all the interdimensional worlds. Just, it's been given on a golden platter, yet the question remains, right? What do we need to do to open up that world? And that is available for you, for me, for everybody out there who is interested, truly interested in doing that, because in the end there is no choice. And why is that exactly? That is because Earth is transmuting into its light environment, its origin of light. And Earth is fusing with the origin of the light realms. So when that is fusing, we cannot have anything that is darkness. Does that make sense? Let me know that in the comments. Or if you don't know me yet, please subscribe. Thank you so much for being with me. And as I bring out videos every day that bring you forward and coach you, as I am a psychologist, I'm working with spiritual scientists like every day. So these interdimensional light worlds, they will bring you extreme creativity. They will bring you extreme beauty. That beauty that comes from intelligence, that comes from insight, that comes from loads and loads of interdimensional guidances, and the origin of your tribe or your spiritual family, that I must say, they grounded already. They are on light earth. So it's up to us to connect to that same vibration and frequency so we can match them, communicate them, and see them inside out, like you can see me on the video, right? So do not make anything too difficult, but yet we need to be persistent, we need to be committed, to go all the way, and not, skip one or two stairs upon the ladder of ascension, because that will hold us back from seeing the old, from seeing and living with the degrees of the old seeing eye, the pineal exploration. And reason why people always go back, it's like it's all they know is the third eye. So I'm here today to explain there is a first eye, there's a second eye, of course, a third eye, and how we develop that. And then there's a fourth eye, and then there's a fifth, a sixth, a seventh. It's going unstoppable. So like if you would have opened the fourth eye, that's like go, and fifth eye, that is like being in nirvana. You wouldn't be on the earth, or you would be with all the light masters in all universes and grounded that on earth, you would certainly not listen to my video. So we're here to connect to each other, to teach each other, to educate. That's what I bring through every day, to gain insight. So this, my channel is not just, you know, giving information, but gaining insight in developing your own knowledge, information, intelligence, and offering a lot of courses into that as well, should you have interest. So we can see worldwide that the old world is collapsing. So I think the past 3 years was mandatory to to create that all-seeing eye, to create that vision, and opening up a new passion, because it opened the gates to not only becoming aware, but being aware and doing the work it takes, as we were all grounded, to bring the earth in its transition with its people, meaning new education, new foods, new consumerism, new ways of living, new community, you know, there's a whole range. We all realize that we cannot longer go on as the elements were collapsing, the animal kingdoms are collapsing, so we need to do the repair, and we're all in it together. So let's do it together and move into unity. So I will give a lot of free alignments, so stay tuned, align, subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to bring a lot of interesting stuff. So let's go back. The third eye can have a plateau of understanding when we look at the glandular construction in the brain. It all has a, let's say, two hemisphere, male, female, okay? Like the cerebellum, the hemispheres in the brain, the glands, they all have two parts. It's a pineal gland that only has one single part. I was looking for a crystal. Oh, here it is. Sorry for that. I wanted to demonstrate something. So one thing that is very important to understand with the pineal activations and moving all the way there is, why is it that the actual format of a pineal, when, you know, from the origin on, was that big in the brain? And while birthing into soul consciousness, from your spirit consciousness into soul, due to duality on the earth, and that goes many, many million years ago when that happened, as everything broke down in dualism, and thus the atrocities we suffer from. So the pineal was shrinking at the same time, that big or even smaller. I don't particularly have a crystal idea to demonstrate, but it's even smaller than that. So growing from here into there and having all the visions open up, that takes a little bit of understanding. It takes some work, because when the eye is clear, then the whole body is clear. So it's a matter of you know, the whole body is in full light when the eye is clear. So I hope it makes sense. You understand, we need to bring the body in full light degrees before all those vision can open. So there's many stages in which you, of course, start to see crystal clear. And I'm truly at that stage right now, and it's huge fun, because spirit is fun. You are fun. You are so beautiful, people over there. So start believing in yourself. Start seeing that you can do it, you know. And this age is all about letting go of the old. I got a lot of videos about that. Just check out my channel if you like that. And so it does make sense, as we need to clear out the entire organism. So we can move into the light degrees, what people also call raising vibration, matching higher frequencies, you know, and then you start to really vibrate inside out. So that doesn't really happen overnight, but the good news is we don't have to go to many, many years of light body training. we can start alignments right now and make a huge transition into light body, light environment, light everything, while the understanding is there in how to create a foundation into light body. So I have a course, 15 weeks, complete transition into light body, that equals the same format as the Light Masters have at this moment. It is termed the Makiva, and with it comes the clearing of your entire organism, everything. The blood circulation, the bone construction, your nervous system, your glandular system, your endocrine, exocrine system, name it. There is a link in the description. So my gift for this new year is truly, I put that course at minus 75%, so we can stream together very fast. So it's all online, so you can always come back and bring these alignments in for the purification, the detoxification of your body, and especially your glandular system. So we need somehow work through an initial foundation in order to let that light in our body open up to everything. So, and then we can surrender to more guidances in which you hear them crystal clear. So the same goes for the ears. The ears will be cleared out as well. If you start to hear from a spirit level, so your spirit self instead of soul self, then you hear the exactitude. There is, that goes no nonsense. And then there's alignments as well. That comes a lot to the crystal kingdom, so work a lot with the crystals. Every alignment has crystals to it because it's the origin of creation. And so that takes a little bit of understanding step by step, then your passion open up, then your new interests open up, then your capacities open up. That goes all with the pineal. So overcoming, it's the age in which we truly overcome that, because those who die right now will never come back. The that rebirth thing on the earth is done and over. So yeah, it's great stuff, right? So I'm preparing myself for how I'm going to live the next 100 years, keep my body up, keep my fitness up, and see where that leads. So the first gate to move into is truly the eternal gates. We are all eternals. Then we merge with all these plateaus on an eternal gate, which are the celestials, and universal beings, and moving together into the immortal gate. And so I think a lot of people are starting to understand, if we want to see inside out, crystal clear, get one of these. That's the best way to work with and get a clear way in is the Madagascar crystal clear crystal ball. So if you have one of these, it massively assists your expansion and your growth process. So we do know the heavens are grounding, and so we move from the old chakra system that has, compartments, rooms in our body, 12 chakra systems. We move that into a pillow of light, because otherwise we cannot move all the way into the higher dimensional guidances, higher dimensional visions, without merging all those 12 gates or chakras. So that was all teaching far too long. We can shift like in a few months' time into light and into a new life. So there's these stages move actually, or that pillar of light moves into the temple of light. The temple of light grounded in your physical embodiment. That is what we need to get into in order to understand how that functions. So going back to the eternal gate, that is truly the pineal merging with the amygdala um, um, gland in the brain. That is a pineal merging with the thalamic gland. That is a pineal merging with the rivers of light or the hypothalamic. That is the pineal gland merging with the seahorse in the brain or the hippocampus. That is a pineal gland merging with the cerebellum. That's a pineal gland merging with your thymus gland. That is the pineal, third eye merging into everything. So it is, there is a reason why the pineal is in the middle, as it shines and aligns many lines to every gland you have, so we can move the glands into fusion with the pineal, which is the whole goal. Because if there is a missing link, once the brain lightens up, it needs to merge with your heart. And once the heart opens up, and there's many stages into that as well, then you can see from the heart. So the grounding of the eye in the heart, which may be new for most people, is where I opened and opened and opened crystal clear vision. So it takes some alignment. And it's important to note, like, if many people may already have cleared a lot in their body, moving into light body of some sort, and moving in, the higher degrees. And although you may struggle or just want to clear the pineal and have that vision, there is understanding that we need to open up or clear out at least the physical eyes, what are termed the first two pairs of eyes, before going into that third pineal all-seeing eye, and then into the beyond. So let's keep it to that, right? So when we start clearing these eyes, it's truly clearing the anatomy. You clear the blood circulation. You, along with clearing the blood circulation of the eyes, you clear the nervous system, the blood, the white system, the iris, the all little parts in these eyes need to be cleared out. And then you will feel like your physical eyes become bigger. Actually, they open up, and then it's like you have a lift, spiritual surgery in your eyes. I experienced that many times. And then it's a matter of clearing the eyebrows a lot, as the eyebrows are connected to the physical eyes. So that clearing needs to be done, and that's a beautiful thing. So we can imagine, if everything needs to become enlightened, and you experience the universes and you become that DMT will be opening up with small measures, and then it gets bigger. Then you can imagine that it makes sense that we can no longer allow deadly substances such as animal foods, synthetic foods, and so on. So we need to move out of ego information and allow the divine information. So there's a lot of misconceptions we have here. Let's say I have been taught by the divine, by all the spiritual realms, and I completely change. If you look at a photograph of me 10 years ago, so my God, so I'm more fit than I was in my 40s. So I'm hitting from 60 to 70 years old, and I'm completely fit because I've done the work, and now it's fun and upgrading. So I want you also to have fun, and not get into this dried out alignment, certainly not TM. Trance meditation happens after the eye opens up and you start working your alignments with the eyes. So there's some way to go, and then even we can maybe only hold on to that like for a few minutes. So the fun, the meditation and alignment comes with bringing one alignment into the other with the clearing process. So a really interesting thing I noticed along my own experiences and working with spiritual scientists in the entire cosmological soup. They are here underground, so I just communicate with them, get my information, and see the results immediately. And that is what I want you to have as well. Having immediate results. We don't have time to go through years of transition because the universe is grounding everything, and so there's a huge turnaround from the carbon in the body into light body, which is actually the transition from the cellular construction into light body parts, and in which DNA, RNA merges. I mean, I don't think you need to know all those technical information, but some clearance is needed. We don't need to be doctors and stuff, although I am somehow in the psychology and in the science factor, so I do look it up to have a better understanding, but there's certainly no need for you guys to do that all of the time. All you need is at least a crystalline grid. There's a whole video about what a crystalline grid is and how to install it and go through a 5 days overhaul, so that is in the description. And I'll give a lot of free stuff so in the incoming days and weeks, so stay tuned, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified and liking. So getting back, so when clearing those eyes, and we are setting in new perspective ley lines, so you open up omnipotent perspectives, right, from the density of earth into light perspectives. These are all technical alignments, but let's say if we sit with such alignment like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and then you do an alignment of a half hour to an hour, and you come out of that, your entire life changes because you get immediate results, and that is what we want, right? So the pineal, when clearing those eyes, and especially the iris, and we open up the laser vision first in the physical eye, so in the pupil. We can open up the laser visions. You know, when a laser beam hits, I love that concept. That laser beams can function actually like a target, and you target whatever you want as in data and information, and then your meditation becomes very interesting. So I only teach the interesting things. So I'm done with old light body, as we are done with that old body on the earth, you know. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, we cannot throw it away, right? We need to transmute and transform it and do the work. But when it's fun, then you have loads and loads of support and assistance. So let's go for that, right? So once we move from the first pair of eyes and we connect that with your crystal ball, no? You can see we have a triangle, right? And that is something so interesting to understand. We do know there are pyramids and all that stuff, yet technology on the earth is so massively slow moving on dualism. So it doesn't make sense anymore. Your computer, your iPhone, your cell phone, that is so retarded technology. Once you understand it, because it functions on dualism, on digits like 01, 01, 01, while the all light opening is 012, 210. And you know, when the triangle that is the origin of creation, opens up new triangles and another one and another one and another one. You get fun because you move out of dual consciousness, and that is the great concept behind the pineal or the third eye, all seeing interdimensional eyes. And from there on, you can expand, you connect, you get massive assistance, and you start to see stuff, and you start to see your own information. So that is so, yeah, it's fun. It's fun doing it. Uh, because starting to see your own stuff, then we need to move out of the collapse of the solar center and the sacred gardens, the sacral center. They need to be crystal clear. So detoxing the body is number one. Detoxing the stomach, the liver, the intestinal tract, the Garden of Eden, where many women have a lot of problems over here in the sacral that bloats, and you get a lot of fats in there. That is the emotional, the old emotional body we release. So it's imperative to move from free will into divine will. Free will is the will that in which you allow yourself everything. When you, and oftentimes your whole life collapses, or you can move on like it is designed for you. So moving into free will, into divine will, and moving divine will through your spinal column, to your brain, to your crystalline lights, expanding that in your home, your business, and everything, it means that you get this crystal clear perfection in alignment, because divine will knows better than the stupidity in soul consciousness, which is pure ego, and reason why a lot of people channel so much falseness and not knowing it. And that's bad stuff, actually. So it's upgrading and knowing, like so many are talking, for example, about karma. Karma does not exist. Why would the divine want you to suffer from some mistake? We are whole here. I make mistakes every day. Then again, I repair them every day as well. So if I have some judgment, some, opinion about everything, I immediately delete. And that is like, I train myself to get better and better and better. So my meditation becomes my whole life, through everything I say, I do in communication. And that is the whole goal in the all seeing eye. You merge and fuse everything. So if we think about the age of communication, that is the age of unification, we need to fuse and unify, reconnect every body part with every body part we have, and knowing how to do it. So it takes some knowledge, it takes some education. But then again, we're here together. So, and yeah, certainly look up the free stuff. And one major thing is, yeah, getting fearless, right? In a light body, you cannot function on fear any longer. So here, for those willing to do it, I offer a free meditation on finally deleting your fear in the body. There is a link in the description box for those willing to do the work. So it's extremely deep. So just hop on over there and take your free space and doing that meditation. And then you get to know yourself a lot better without fear, because fear stands in the way of any possible disease. It gives you headaches, it gives you overthinking, it dismisses purity and alignment. It stops your thinking processes. It is, detrimental for your health, because it makes your thymus gland, your immunity to density, it makes it go into the syndrome of collapsing everything that you are. So in order to create that triangle, we need to move from at least opening up that triangle, that is the capstone of creation in your brain. And that can only be done when all the glands are being cleared out and put into perfection, so you can open the frontal visions, which is the throne of light. And that is something I only do in private session, as it's very, very intense, but you get the immediate results to opening up into the eye of the divine. So for those who already set a light body foundational in crystalline grids, I can do that immediately. There, all the information is down there. And for those still willing to open up their light body foundation, there's a 15 weeks online course or a 5-day if you wish to get acquainted into light environments and opening up the light into your body. So there's many possibilities. And then we can open up that capstone. So I will install that capstone into your brain so you can move out of dualism into Unitarian consciousness and open the pyramid in your brain. You know, we oftentimes see the pyramid in pictures with that all-seeing eye. That is what it means. And so that is what we can do. Apart from that, the most important thing is to realize that the pineal has rods and cones that open up the light in the body. So rods that turn around, that open up, and you know, it's very, very vibrant. And these rods and cones, pardon me, are connected to a crystalline grid termed the Eye of the Divine crystalline grid that can open up when you have a foundation, because your fundamental self-mastery foundation in your home. When you have installed that, you can install any grid. So it starts with a foundation. It's the same like if you build a house and you don't or you have a foundation, you know, and you want to go into the second, third, fourth floor, but you skip the first floor. What will it do? It will collapse, right? Same goes with light body. It needs to build from the foundation into the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth floor or dimension. And that is where you start to flow in a spiritual body versus the body on the earth, and merge both bodies. And so these crystalline grids of the Eye of the Divine is within these light grids, and that is connected to all the meridian systems around Earth. So if you look out a picture about the meridians around Earth, the universal meridians, the celestial, and in the Omni Beyond, everything in creation, from first creation on, started out with the crystalline liquid golden meridian grid system. So to make it an easy understanding, but I deem it appropriate to give you all those levels of insight in order to understand it. I hope you like it. So let me know in the comments if you like the information, and if there's items you like more information about, let me know. Let me know where you struggle, or if you have your own technique and passionate about it. So I'd be very, very interested into that. So the all the meridians, when you connect that to your home grid and your Eye of the Divine, or the all-seeing eye grid here, then what happens is these liquid golden meridian grid ley lines start to open up and to spin with the all-seeing eye, opening up tunnels of light. And when the grid in that eye connects with everything surrounding us, starting with your body grid, your Makiva, your light body, your home grid, the earth grid, and on and on. So it starts spinning and spinning, and you start opening all these light words, and that is, you know, how you open up the pineal gland actually, and then it becomes fun. So in the beginning I saw flickers of light worlds and said, it's actually like I start to remember so much, and more I do this and upgrade my physical construction into light parts. It's an ongoing process. The more I get the exactitude of information and data to go there. So, and you become the DNT because that will be opened up, like also from a small um, inch of DMT into the bigger openings of light environment. So, the the only understanding I can give is that your physical body must purify to a level where it can flow synchron with the infusion of light. So the clearing process is pretty much mandatory. And then we have the brain and the heart fusion to start the whole process and blow through all consciousness. And then it opens up to the third eye, which takes you into light body mastery. So you can equate that, when there's many seminars like dark room activations and stuff. That is because the pineal works with melatonin, and when being persistent, then when you meditate, when it's very dark, so you close your curtains, you make a dark room, and you truly set your alignments in. I want to say, so all those 12 immortal bodies, the spiritual body, the higher mentals bodies, so in which you do no longer just judge or have an opinion, just stream where you need to go and need to be in order to plant what you came for on the earth. So after that, the alignments move into focus, and then you just try to let your brain, fuse with your goal and practice that a few minutes a day. Because if you practice alignments, you breathe in one alignment after the other, one alignment after the other. And that is fun because you have something to, and then the last minutes of meditation is your focus into the all-seeing eye. And that is why there is so much misinformation about transcendental meditation. So I will make a lot of videos about that as well, as I think it's very, very important to understand where you stand. So, everybody can watch video after video about the pineal, yet the exactitude of information is truly a missing link in everything. And another thing here that is more important than anything in existence, or what I've been talking about, that is the upgrade from dense breathing system, the breathing system into ego, from ego or soul consciousness into spirit consciousness, brings you in the breathing system of light. And that means if I breathe in, I don't feel anything anymore. I can go on for many, many minutes and minutes and minutes, and then I breathe. It means the breath of light moves through and cuts out any bacteria, artificial living stuff on the planet, meaning you never can get any disease. And that needs the highest level of training. So here as well, if anyone would like to do a beginning course, like, you don't want to do the big stuff, that's pretty much okay. Just moving into the breath of light means that you can open up your light within, even in the pineal, very, very fast. So the breathing system needs to move beyond breathing any bacteria. Breathing any bacteria is very, very bad. So I would certainly suggest to or eventually look up my course, Out of the Old into the Gold, that resets your breath into the breath of light. It's about 5 videos, gets you at least into the house of light, which is termed Shambhala. and then you can move on as well. So there's a lot we can do to resurrect the self and actually take action, because the age of Aquarius has opened up. So no more old body, no more stuck patterns, no more being tired, no more being exhausted. A light body never is, as we are going from eternal measures into the immortal embodiment for those who want to stay on the earth. And yeah, I would say subscribe and see what I have to say in the incoming days, because I will bring out a lot of videos that are termed the truth informational platform of divine data. So yeah, that was a lot, right? But stay tuned here. Thank you for subscribing. At the end of the video here, I offer a first alignment that makes you go into a crystalline grid and opening the eye of the divine. So for those willing to clear out the entire anatomy, the blood circulation, you know, the cones, opening up the cones, opening up you know, the pupils and everything we have in the physical eyes, and then getting into that third eye, I have a meditational clearing that is so to the point, so deep. Takes 1 hour and a half, I think. It's about 96 minutes. But then again, you have a supreme clearing, and that is, I think, I did off like 20%. It's about $33 only. So that is not much to get such a huge clearing process. So I have the introductional meditation right here. Stream into it and then have a look at opening the eye of the divine into the all-seeing universal consciousness and your origin. So wonderful, people. I hope you like it, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, assisting my growth, and allowing some fun in the reconnection, the unification process. So please let me know what you think about it. Let me know where you struggle, what you do eventually, or if you have any questions, just shoot, and I would love to see that. So thank you so much. See you in the next video. Okay, stay tuned and go into that meditation, right? Okay, bye. Into your energy field as a protective grid for this meditational alignment into the eye of the divine. Let's keep on breathing through pure, crystalline, white light all the way from the center or the nucleus of this earth through your feet, the spinal column, all the way to your head and out into the universe. So keep on breathing. This calm space through. You open up to the lavender light that you can breathe through from the universe into your crown, and allow it to swirl all the way into your brains, into your crystalline brains, so you get a mixture of white crystalline light from the earth mixing with universal lavender lights, and keep on focusing on the beauty, the circulation in your brain. As you relax more and more into your alignment, invite and allow your alignment to your source. Just by breathing it in, I now invite and allow my deepest connection with my source. You may as well repeat, I am one with my source. I am one with my source. I am one with my source. So here you may experience a deeper connection to the light waves and realms of light as you keep on focusing on white and lavender lights. We also call forth the lavender ray flames, the lavender flames surrounding our grid and keep us up in a protective space with the white crystalline grid. Now you can put in anything you'd like into your grid. Allow and invite your teams of light, the lavender team of light, the eye of the divine team of light, any archangel, armies of angels as you wish. Just by stating it, I now invite and allow Team Divine into my energy field, my grid space, to open up the eyes within and assist the clearing process of the physical eyes.